Okay, the final countdown is officially on. The pressure? It's real. I get it. But you know what else is real? Your potential. You've been grinding all year, and we are right here, in the final stretch. So if you're feeling that anxiety bubble up, you're in exactly the right place. We are about to lay out a master plan to turn these last 15 days into your ultimate comeback story.
Now, before we even touch a schedule or a strategy, I want you to look at this slide. Really look at it. This sentence right here, it's the single most powerful tool you have. It's your new morning mantra. Go on, say it out loud with me. This exam will be the best exam of my life. And look, this isn't some fluffy, empty motivation. This is the bedrock. It's the foundation for everything we're about to build.
All right, let's start by just acknowledging where we are. You're standing right at the door of your exams, feeling the weight of the entire year. This is it, the final countdown.
Let's be real for a second. It is completely 100% normal to feel a little bit of panic right now. Maybe you're thinking about the chapters you haven't touched, or the marks you're aiming for, or what your parents are going to say. All of those feelings, they're valid, but we're not going to sit here and dwell on them. We are here for a solid, actionable plan that will guide you every single day from this moment until you put your pen down after that final paper.
So, what are we actually up against? I'm willing to bet that all that stress you're feeling boils down to one or maybe even all four of these big worries.
Does this list look familiar? That voice of self-doubt in your head? The sheer panic of looking at a pile of books knowing your syllabus isn't done? The absolute frustration of the clock just ticking away faster and faster? Or maybe the worst one, those maddening little mistakes that you know you shouldn't be making. Yep, these are the big four. But here's the good news. Every single one of them has a solution.
So that's the million-dollar question, right? What do we actually do about it? How do we take these huge, scary worries and shrink them down into tasks we can actually handle? Well, that's what the rest of this is all about. So let's get into our game plan, and we're starting with confidence. Why? Because it's the foundation of everything. You could have the most perfect study schedule on the planet, but without confidence, it's pretty much useless. This is the simple but incredibly powerful psychology behind that mantra we just talked about. Your brain isn't this fixed thing. It's more like a computer you can program. And as this slide says, it believes what you tell it over and over and over again. When you feed it a message of success and you say it with real conviction, you're not just thinking positive. You are literally rewiring your brain. You're building new pathways that expect success.
So this isn't just a friendly suggestion. This is your first assignment. Every single morning before you even think about picking up a book, look yourself in the mirror and say it. This exam will be the best exam of my life. Seriously, half the battle is won right here, in your mind. Because believe me, so many students walk into that exam hall already defeated by fear. You won't be one of them.
Okay, with our confidence game getting strong, it's time to get practical. Let's tackle the two biggest monsters in the room, that unfinished syllabus and the clock that just won't stop ticking.
For those of you staring at a mountain of an incomplete syllabus, panicking is not the answer. Speed and strategy are. You need to be smart. Find those one-shot revision videos online. They can cover an entire chapter in a single session. For subjects like science or social studies, stop rereading the whole textbook. It's too slow. Use concise, high-quality short notes instead. And for math, please stop reading it like a storybook. The only way to learn math is to do math. Pick up your pen and start solving problems. In this slide right here, it illustrates the biggest mistake I see students make. Ask yourself honestly, which column are you in? Are you waking up and just shooting arrows in the dark, kind of hoping you hit something useful? Or are you studying like a topper, with a clear, defined target for every single time you sit down to study? The difference between these two approaches is everything. Now, if your syllabus isn't finished, there's just no way to sugarcoat this. This is the commitment it's going to take. 8 to 9 hours of focused, dedicated study every single day. I know, it's a grind, but it's a temporary grind for a permanent reward. So how in the world do you structure those 8 or 9 hours so they're actually productive? Here's the blueprint. Break your day into 3 focus slots. First, slot 1, 2 to 3 hours of deep work on one subject. And when I say deep work, I mean phone is off, no interruptions, just pure focus. Then you take a real break, and you hit slot 2. Another 2 to 3 hours, same rules, different subject. Now slot 3 is for application, but listen up because this part is key. You should only solve a full sample paper if your syllabus is more than 80% complete. If it's not, you use that third slot to cover more chapters. It makes no sense to test yourself on stuff you haven't even learned yet. This might just be the hardest rule of all,
but it is absolutely non-negotiable. For the next month, you have to become a master of the word no. No to friends who want to hang out, no to relatives who just want to pop by, no to any and every distraction that tries to pull you away from your goal. Yeah, some people might think you're being rude or arrogant. Let them. In a month, they'll all be congratulating you. Your focus has to be singular.
All right, it's time to face the monsters. You know what I'm talking about. Those subjects you dread even opening, and those silly little mistakes that keep robbing you of your hard-earned marks. So when you come up against a topic that just feels impossible, don't run away. Instead, you're going to trick your brain. Open that chapter, and I want you to deliberately find the easiest questions in it, the ones you are 100% sure you can get right. And you start right there.
So what happens when you solve a few easy questions in a row? You get a little hit of dopamine. You start to build momentum. You feel a tiny surge of confidence, like, hey, I can do this. That is the exact moment you pivot and attack the harder questions. Your brain, which is now primed for success, is so much more capable of cracking that difficult problem than it was when you started cold.
Look, knowing the answer is only half the battle. How you present that answer matters a lot. Are you making it easy for the examiner by underlining crucial keywords? Are you managing your time so you actually finish the paper? Are you writing clearly? These little things are what separate a 90% student from a 95% student. And that brings us to our final and maybe most critical section. These are the last-minute traps that so many good students fall into. Let's make sure you're not one of them. Okay, listen closely. This is your final don't-do list. In math, do the full calculation for every single problem. Don't just look at it and assume you know how. For all subjects, do not, I repeat, do not ignore your main textbook exercises. They are a goldmine. In science, you know those little activity boxes in the chapters? They're not just for fun. Questions are often pulled directly from them. And in social studies, memorizing and writing down the important dates shows the examiner a level of mastery that screams for top marks.
As we wrap up, I want this quote to really sink in. Your bad days, the months you slacked off, the fear you're feeling right this second, all of that stuff, it's just clouds. They're temporary. They block the view for a little while. But your potential, your intelligence, your ability to make this incredible comeback, that's the sun. It is always there, just waiting for the clouds to pass.
All right, the time for planning, for watching videos, for thinking about studying, it's over. Your comeback doesn't start tomorrow morning. It starts the second this explainer ends. You have the plan, you have the mindset. Now, the only thing left is the work. Close the screen. Go study. You've got this.